You're watching the Sports and Political channel of LB. If you're not subscribing to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Let's get down to business. So, to frame this story in its proper context, recently, George Santos, if that's his real name, was being brought up for expulsion from the Congress after he had been formally indicted for his slew of crimes. And the Republican Party decided to keep George Santos in the Congress because they have a razor thin majority in the House. As he was exiting the House and he was being heckled by reporters, you had Representative Jamal Bowman out of New York basically troll George Santos, if that's his real name, during his interview, in which you have this reprobate, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who represents the Georgia's 14th congressional district, appear and to get into shouting matches with Jamal Bowman. Now, look, I don't care about the theater. I don't care about this bickering back and forth between Jamal Bowman, because we all know he a Democratic shill, and this reprobate right here. But what I will get into is the comment she made after the shouting match that they had in front of the House. The far right wing nut told reporters being called a white supremacist was the same as a black person being called the N-word. Speaking about the confrontation outside the Capitol the day before the Demo- the day before with the Democratic Congressman Jamal Bowman, Green said Jamal Bowman was shouting at the top of his lungs, cursing, calling me a horrible, uh, calling me a white supremacist, which I take great offense to that. Okay, first of all, if you watch the video, Jamal Bowman never cursed at this woman. He never said anything derogatory toward her. He wasn't being aggressive towards her. And how was she being scared when she was out there going right back tooth and nail with Jamal Bowman? But she was so scared. She was so in fear of her life. Yeah, just throw out that massive dog whistle with a bullhorn, don't you? It's like calling a person of color the N word, which should never happen. Calling me a white supremacist equal to that. That is wrong. First of all, there is nothing. And I've and first of all, we're not people of color. Let's just get that out the way. We are not people of color. I can't stand when somebody come out their mouth saying we're people of color. We are not no fucking people of color. We are black people. And second, and more importantly than that, nothing, and I do mean nothing, compares to calling us black folks the A word. You wouldn't try that shit. You wouldn't dare come out your mouth like that. You wouldn't dare come out your mouth like that. There's nothing equal. You know who else said that dumbass shit? Similar to that effect? That fake ass activist Tamika Mallory. Yeah, because when Biden was running for re-elect, well, not re-election, he was running to become president in 2020, and she did that interview with TMZ in the back of the car. What she say? Oh, sexism is worse than racism. But I'll get back to that trifling ass woman in another video. Back to Marjorie Taylor Greene. You know, because she always been trying to take little pot shots at the black community. using her Karenicity and her little racist dog whistles and all that. And y'all sit up here trying to minimize the racism that happens towards us, and all the meanwhile, we're not getting what we owed in reparations. You think we getting on the Democrats for not giving us reparations? No, y'all get the smoke too. Y'all get this work too. Nothing. And I do mean nothing compares to calling somebody that's black the N word. The hell you talking about? You all white supremacists. Hell, you was associated at one point or another with the preeminent white supremacists in our generation and Nick Fuentes. And do we notice a pattern here? All these white supremacists happen to be the most beta male or the beta female individuals out there. They'll sit up there and use all these racist tropes, all these dog whistles with uh with defensive death measures behind them and a camera in front of their face. But when they go out to the real world, when they gotta meet the real citizens out here, they can't get away with that. Then all of a sudden now they need security because they're fear their life. Here's another question. You was out there fanning the flames, providing disinformation to people that resulted in stormtroopers invading the Capitol on January 6th. Why the fuck you not out of Congress yet? Why the fuck you not in jail yet? All the people that stormed the Capitol going to jail, and yet you provided disinformation to them. How come you not in jail? How come you not booted out of Congress? And then the people that support this woman, how have you benefited from this racist ass white supremacist piece of trash? How have you benefited from her being in Congress? She ain't passed not one fucking bill. Not one. What bill she passed? All she do is go on Fox News or OAN or Newsmax and just start sputting all kinds of racist dog whistles, or she'll start cooking up some bullshit ass conspiracy theories about Jewish space laser. But all of a sudden, when a black man challenging her on her bullshit, then she's triggered or she's in fear of her life now. Get your ass out of here. Now, that's not the, you know, be stomping for Jamal Bowman because he's a Democratic shill. He ain't been pushing for no reparations and none of that shit. But the principle is a smart, free black man pisses him off every time. They don't want a black man that's going to challenge him, that's going to debunk all their bullshit. They don't want that. They don't want that. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the walking embodiment of a Karen. She'll sit up there and talk about, I was in fear of my life, but you wasn't in fear of your life when you was going back and forth with Jamal Bowman, or you was going at AOC. Now, I ain't no fan of AOC neither, but you was doing a little flippity flap, running your mouth at AOC before you became a congresswoman, or you ran down a teenage boy after that Parkland shooting, talking about your Second Amendment rights and all that bullshit, because that's the only right, that's the only amendment they know, because that's the only one they care to talk about, or in the next to the First Amendment. But no, you don't get to speak on the black community, talk about, oh, well, being called a white supremacist is the same as being called the N-word. No, it's not. And you know that. You know good and goddamn well with you saying that, that's going to deflect attention off what's really going on. Because that's all she's there for. If she ain't getting campaign donations from the Koch brothers or the founder of Coors Beer or whatever right-wing media mogul that's out there, right? She's not getting campaign donations from them. She's out there to fan the flames of dissension, and she's there to cause distraction. That's what she's there for. Because she ain't passed no bills. What bill she passed? Then there's another program at work. This reprobate is trying to be Donald Trump's VP. Because let's face it, Trump will get the nomination again because he got that many people out there supporting him. Through all his crimes, through all his affairs, through all his nonsense, they're going to support this man. This woman trying to be a VP. That's why she went to New York when he got indicted. When Trump got indicted in New York, she made it her mission to go to New York. The problem was the New Yorkers wasn't having no more rats running around their city. And they ran one of the biggest rats in DC out of the city. So no, you don't get to run your mouth about the black community. Keep our name out your goddamn mouth, you white supremacists. Oh man, you were so triggered by that because that's what you are. Let's just keep this 100. You are a white supremacist. Embrace who you are. That's probably you racist right now. Y'all don't want to embrace who you are. Y'all want to take all sides of the equation. You want to perform your racism and white supremacy, but yet you don't want nobody calling you on it. I ain't afraid to call you ass out on it, bitch. You are a white supremacist. So stand on that shit. You triggered. By what? Get your ass out of here. Do you ever call yourself speaking on the black community? We didn't need you. And we don't want you. Now, there's some other things I want to say, but YouTube might ding me if I really go that route. So I'm going to end the video on that note. You're not subscribing to this channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Last but definitely not least, shouts out to the LDBC, Lions Den basketball community. This your man. Scream at me. Hurt!